Hello, everybody. This is Chris with Night of Living Card Games, back to continue my traipse through a civil war. At least a nice, happy civil war that is on my table and not anyplace else. So, I've gone through the Hulkling Precon deck, managed to take down Captain Marvel, but I did lose to Iron Man, so Hulkling is no more. So now it is time to try out Tigra's Precon aggression deck and see how she plays against the resistance side, which is Spider-Woman, followed by Captain America. So real quick, taking a look at Tigra, her alter ego side, Greer Nelson, has a recovery of 3, hit points of 10, hand size of 6. She has an alter ego action called Undercover Work. Search your deck and discard pile for a copy of Hunted and add it to your hand once per round. And on her hero side, Tigra is a 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense Avenger hero with a hand size of 5. And it says each minion with a copy of Hunted attached loses guard. And then she has a response on the hunt. After the player phase begins, draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you to a maximum of 3. So her big thing is she goes and fetches minions, and she does better. She gets cards. I think she ups some damage and things based on the minions she's got. All right, taking a look at Spider-Woman. Again, we're just doing standard 3 on these. So Spider-Woman is a 1 scheme, 2 attack, 13 hit point leader. She has a set ability which says find finesse and attach to Spider-Woman, and she has a forced interrupt. When Spider-Woman attacks, she gets +1 attack for each skill counter on finesse for this attack, then remove each skill counter from finesse. All right, real quick, taking a look at finesse. Oops, apparently I had another card underneath there, so I'm going to have to shuffle that in. It is a permanent attachment. It says maximum 3 skill counters here, and force interrupt when a treachery is revealed. Place 1 skill counter on here. Right. Let me shuffle this up a little bit. All right, taking a look at the first side scheme, or the first main scheme, we've got Superhero Resistance, which just tells you the setup. It says if you're playing in competitive mode, go get something, but I'm not. So we are playing in cooperative mode. Go get your leader's side scheme and reveal it, which I have over here. I'll go over that in a second. I got that shuffled up. Flipping this over to 1B, we've got Open Rebellion. It is a 7 per player threat main scheme. Starts with 0, goes up 1 per. And it says, if there's more than 1 player on your team, the stage gains hinder 2 per player. There's not, so it isn't. And then forced interrupt, when a player reveals a treachery, place 1 threat here. Limit once per phase per player. So when a treachery is revealed, I put a threat here and a skill counter here. So again, this don't forget. Token will hopefully help me out with that. All right, looking at Spider-Woman's signature side scheme. It's called Self-Propelled Glide. It comes in with 3 per player threat and has an acceleration icon. And it says Forced Interrupt. When Spider-Woman would take any amount of damage from an attack, reduce the amount of damage she takes by 1 for each skill counter on finesse. All right, so that is that. Let us draw our opening hand and see how things go. All right, we've got Sharp Claws. We've got a Coup de Grace, Suppressing Fire, Moon Knight, Spider-Girl, and Hunted. All right, well, we're going to pitch Hunted because I can fetch it from my discard pile. I'm going to throw away Suppressing Fire because that is an upgrade that you attach onto a minion. I don't have any minions out right now. And then I suppose if I have Hunted, I'll have a minion. And then we've got Coup de Grace. It is defeat a non-elite minion with an upgrade attached. Ignore any when defeated abilities on it. So just 2 costs. Get rid of a non-elite minion. Okay. Spider-Girl and Moon Knight are good. Let's see here. Sharp Claws is a 1 cost upgrade. Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, exhaust Sharp Claws, Tigra gets +1 attack for this +1 attack for this attack, and I get to choose an option. It either gains piercing or it gains overkill. Okay, so we're definitely keeping that. Moon Knight. After he enters play, go get a minion and put it into play. Engage with you, stun and confuse that minion. All right, that's good, especially only as a 1 cost. So he's 1 cost, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points. That's good. Spider Girl, she's a reprint, and since Moon Knight will let me stun and confuse, I'm going to pitch her. Definitely going to pitch Hunted. I'm not going to need Suppressing Fire because I haven't been injured yet. You know, I'm going to get rid of Coup de Grace. Let's see more of my deck here before I do that. So I'm drawing 4 more. I get a Savage Strike, another Suppressing Fire, another Coup de Grace, and another Savage Strike. So not much there. So Savage Strike, what is it? 3 cost. Event. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, you get +6 attack for this attack, and it gains piercing. Wow. That ain't bad. All right. So we got our hands. Let's get to work here. All right. So Greer Nelson is going to use her undercover work action to go get a copy of Hunted and add it to my hand. So real quick, Hunted is a 0-cost upgrade. However, as an additional cost to play this upgrade, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it into play engaged with you. Attach Hunted to this minion and then stun it. And then interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, ready Tigra. So I probably don't want to do that and Moon Knight in the same vein. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use 1 Savage Strike to pay for my Sharp Claws. That seems good. We're going to flip ourselves up. Okay. Let us do a Suppressing Fire to pay for Moon Knight. So after Moon Knight enters play, go search for a minion and put it into play. All right, what do we got here? I think I'm going to be looking for a non-elite minion. Oh, Iron Fist is not. Oh, it is put into play and not revealed, so not bad. Iron Fist would be a good one to get out of the way. Interesting, Iron Fist is non-elite. Luke Cage, non-elite. When revealed, stun your leader, otherwise you are stunned. Okay. We've got Dagger. Heal 2 damage from the enemy leader. Deal 2 damage to a character you control. We've got Cloak. Adds threat. Jessica Jones confuses. Daredevil. Exhaust a character you control. Spider-Man. Attacks each character with Tangled Up. If no attacks were done this way, go get it. You know what? We're going to get Spider-Man out. Oh, no. Spider-Man is an elite one, so I do not want him. Okay. You know what? I'm going to put out Iron Fist because his... So Iron Fist is a 1 scheme, 3 attack, 4 hit point defender minion, non-elite. And it says, when revealed, he attacks your leader. Otherwise, he activates against you. However, Moon Knight says, put it into play. Do not reveal it. So I do not have to take the attack. And then I will stun and confuse Iron Fist. All right, we are going to have Moon Knight thwart 2. Let's get self-propelled glide out of here. I am going to... I'm going to thwart and just get rid of it. Just debating on whether I want to get rid of Iron Fist now, or do I wait until next turn So I get an extra card draw out of it. Since he's stunned, he shouldn't come up against me. You know what? I am not going to coup de grace him, because I'm going to try to Savage Strike next turn. So that would give me a 2 with a basic attack, then a +1, so 3, +6, 9, and it would gain Piercing and Overkill. So I'll be able to get into Spider-Woman with that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually pitch Coup de Grace and Hunted, and just hold on to Savage Strike and ready up. All right, we got a Feline Senses. We've got Aggressive Conditioning, another Sharp Claws, and a Bring It. All right, Villain Phase. We're getting 1 on the main. She is coming for base 2. She would get +1, but there's no counters on it, so I'm just going to take it. So 2, star. If dagger is in play, reveal cloak. Otherwise, place 1 threat on a scheme. All right. So just 2. Iron Fist would attack, but is stunned. Right. Now we get our encounter card, which is a side scheme. So I don't have to do this. So side scheme, Defend Hell's Kitchen. Comes in with 3 threat, but it is also hinder 1 per player, so it is 4 threat total. Threat cannot be removed from a scheme while a defender minion is in play, and it has a crisis icon. No, that's a hazard icon, sorry. All right. All right, so start of the player phase. I'm going to do my On the Hunt. I'm engaged with 1 minion, so I get to draw a card. Feline Senses. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to Bring It. Draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you. So basically I get to double dip and just replace it. So I get an Air Cover. Air Cover, 1 cost tech support. Uses 2 fuel counters, max 1 per player. Response, after a minion enters play, exhaust this card and remove 1 fuel counter from it. Search your deck and discard pile for a tactic upgrade that can be attached to that minion and add it to your hand. Okay. Interesting, but I don't think I'm going to get a lot out of that. I wouldn't mind getting Aggressive Conditioning out, but I really need to deal with you. So I'm going to spend Air Cover, 1 of my Feline Senses, and... Oh, actually, hang on a second. Do I want to get my second? Ooh. So either I get my second Sharp Claws out, or I get my Feline Senses, or I keep my Feline Senses to try to deal with threat later on. So I think I'm going to have to keep Feline Senses, even though I'm not going to be able to use it. Or, you know what? No. We're going to do things differently. We are going to use 1 Feline Senses to get a second Sharp Claw out. Since they are both interrupts in the same window, it does not say limit 1 per attack. I can do both of them when I attack. So I will do a basic attack, and I will exhaust both my Sharp Claws. So I'm hitting for 4, which takes out Iron Fist. I am going to spend Savage Strike. Now, we're going to do Aggressive Conditioning and Air Cover to pay for Feline Senses, remove 3 threat from a scheme. And if it removes the last threat, which I didn't, I could stun a minion, but there aren't any minions left. And then we'll have Moon Knight cleared out. All right, I am going to hold Savage Strike in my hand. And we are readying up. We get Savage Strike. We've got another Hunted. We've got a Cat's Head Amulet. We've got Yellow Jacket and Audacity. All right. Villain phase. We get 1 on the main. She is coming to attack for a base of 2. We'll have Moon Knight jump in the way of this. 2, 3. So Moon Knight is defeated. And now we get our encounter card. It is not a treachery. It is another side scheme. The Defenders. 3 plus hinder 1 per player. And each minion gains guard with an acceleration icon. So coming in with 4. All right. I am not engaged to any minions, so I don't get to trigger that. I could go use Hunted to do that. Get my Cat's Head Amulet out. Do I reveal it or do I put it into play? Just put it into play. You know, let's do it. We need minions. Yeah, this time, because I don't have anything that is going to trigger off of elite or non-elite, I am going to put Spider-Man into play because I'm not revealing him. All right, so I get to put him engaged with you and stun it. And when the engaged minion is defeated, I get to ready myself. So you are stunned, my friend. All right, we are now going to spend Audacity and Yellow Jacket to get a Cat's Head Amulet. So Cat's Head Amulet is a 2-cost upgrade. It says resource. Exhaust Cat's Head Amulet to generate a physical resource for each minion engaged with you to a maximum of 3 resources. And then Audacity, since I spent it, after you spend this card, deal 1 damage to the villain. So, First Blood. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pay for it with Savage Strike and Audacity. I'm going to keep Yellow Jacket in hand because I'm going to need an ally to deal with stuff. All right, so we are going to attack with Tigra using both my Sharp Claws. You know what? No. I'm going to leave that out because he's stunned, so he's not going to be able to attack me. I'll be able to kill him next turn, and I'll ready myself up. So let us take... I don't know. Let's take 1 off of this thing. Seems as good as anything. And then we'll call it my turn. I'm going to hold on to Yellow Jacket because I want some allies that can do some thwarting. Precinct HQ, bring it. Cat-like reflexes. And another cat-like reflexes. Cat-like reflexes. When you would take any amount of damage, discard cat-like reflexes. Okay, it's an upgrade. I get to... All right. So we get... we're actually getting 2 on the main, so we're up to 5 out of 7. She is coming to attack. I'm just going to have to take it because I got to kill Spider-Man. So she's coming in for just a base of 2, 3, 4. So that takes us to 4. Spider-Man would attack, but he is stunned. And now we get an encounter card. It is a treachery. So we get 1 on finesse, and we get 1 on the main. I think that's going to be popping. When revealed, put 1 counter on pursued by the past. Then, if there are any counters on it, the villain schemes. Well, that's definitely going to pop it then. All right, so she schemes for 1. If Spider-Man minion is in play, reveal this card. So here's a Tangled Up. Attached to your leader, otherwise attached to your hero. Forced interrupt. When attached character would scheme, thwart, or attack, discard this card instead. Oh, man. Well, that's a problem. That ruins my plans. All right, so she's only scheming for 1, but that's enough. All right, so now we go to scheme 2A. Nothing extra to do with it. And then we get Neighborhood Protectors. When revealed, the enemy team searches the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 per player, side schemes, and deals 1 to each player on your team as a face-down encounter card. I assume then that I just have to deal with it. I get to pick my own since I don't have an enemy team. Whew. Not looking good for Tigra. Well, I only have search the deck and discard pile. Well, I guess we'll do the Cloak and Dagger one. We are still in the enemy phase, or in the encounter card phase. So this does gets dealt to me, then I reveal it. I don't think Tiger's going to be winning this one. All right, well, let's see what goes on here. So that is the villain phase. I'm going to do my ability to draw a card for each minion, coup de grace. And then I have a bring it. I'm going to bring it to replace it with Tooth and Claw. Okay. Let's see here. So Precinct HQ allows me to remove threat. That's nice. All right, so we are going to use a Cat's Head Amulet and a Cat-like Reflex to play Coup de Grace. That is an attack, so that takes care of Tangled Up instead. Basically, kind of like a stun and a hybrid stun and confuse item. So now I will attack using both my claws to deal 4 damage to Spider-Man, which defeats him. And when I defeat him, I get to a ready Tigra. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend Cat-like Reflexes, Precinct HQ, and Tooth and Claw to get Yellow Jacket out. So Yellow Jacket is a 3-cost ally. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 hit points, but both thwart and attack take 2 consequential damage. Play only if you have the Avenger trait, which I do. Response: after he enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an upgrade and add it to your hand. Event, upgrade, resource, support, and event. So all I can do is add aggressive conditioning. I shall shuffle my deck now. Right, we are going to have Yellow Jacket take 2 off of this one. Take 2 consequential, and then I will thwart to get rid of it. And this doesn't have any effect when I defeat it. All right, we'll hold aggressive conditioning in my hand. Why not? I'm going to stay up in hero form. I think I'm going to sacrifice Yellow Jacket to this, so we will draw 4 more, so I get aggressive conditioning. suppressing fire, strength, tooth and claw, and a savage strike. All right, so we are getting 1 on the main. She is going to attack. I will defend with Yellow Jacket, so she's coming in with 2 plus 1, so 3. Star, exhaust a character you control. Well, thanks, Daredevil. So Yellow Jacket is defeated. And then we remove all counters off Finesse. And now we get our encounter card. 1, it is a Treachery. Light Force, when revealed, healed 3 damage from the enemy leader and take 3 indirect damage. Oof. Okay. That is also a Treachery. Oh no, I don't need to put 1 here because that is only the first stage that adds the threat, but it does put the 1 back on Finesse. Well, then. All right, well, Savage Strike does me nothing. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, so I am going to do Strength and Suppressing Fire to get an aggressive conditioning out. So it gives me plus 3 hit points and plus 1 attack. So help me a little bit here. I'm going to just have to flip down because I got no choice in the matter. And I am going to hold off. I'm going to pitch Savage Strike, but I'm going to hold on to Tooth and Claw. All right, ready yourselves up. And then we will get 5 more. We got a Genius. We got an Air Cover. Bring it. Another Air Cover and Energy. All right, we are getting 1 on the main. She is going to scheme for a base 1, 2, 3. So that is 5 of 9. Now we get our encounter card, which is Resistance Fighter. Attachment. Attach to the minion. Attach to a minion of the enemy team's choice. There is no minion out. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. Okay, Tangled Up. Well, unfortunate. Oh, hang on a second. Attach to your leader. Otherwise, attach to your hero. I do not have a hero out. Because it doesn't say identity, it specifically says hero. So it whiffs. Interesting. That's an interesting little twist. All right, my turn. I have to heal. Get me up to 7. I will do my undercover work to go get one of my hunted. I'm going to flip myself up. I'm going to now use hunted. So I've got Dagger, Jessica Jones, and Cloak should be in here too, or Luke Cage. You know what? Let's Luke Cage it up. Again, it's put into play, not revealed, so I don't have to do that ability. He is stunned. All right. Let us bring it to draw, basically swap out. Bring it for Two-Gun Kid. Two-Gun Kid, 3-cost ally, 1 thwart to attack, 3 hit points. Interrupt when he makes a basic attack. Choose 2 enemies instead of 1 and resolve the attack against each of them. Interesting. All right. So we're going to use our Cat's Head Amulet and a Genius to play Tooth and Claw. So Tooth and Claw is a 4-cost event, But it says reduce the cost to play this event by 1 for each minion engaged with you. Since I'm engaged with 1, it only cost me 1 to do. Or only cost me 3 to do. So 1, 2, 3. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. 4 damage to Luke Cage. And then hunted triggers. I get to ready Tigra. And then deal 4 damage to another enemy. So we will deal that to Spider-Woman. I guess I'm going to spend energy and air cover to get a 2-gun kid out. Kind of a waste here if I attack, because I won't get the bonus. All right, so I'll go up 6. I'm going to be able to do 7 damage to you, and then... yeah, 7 damage to you. Let's just go for it. We will attack for 2. 2-gun kid takes 1. I will attack using both my sharp claws. So that is a 2, 3, 4, and aggressive conditioning gives me 5. So 5. And how many cards are left in my deck? I'm going to deck out, so I'm going to pitch air cover. Ready myself up. 3 are another aggressive conditioning, tooth and claw, a hunted. That. Drawing 2 more. Air cover and feline senses. All right, so we are getting 1 on the main. So we're at 6 of 9. She is coming to attack. So with a base of 2, 3, I'm just going to take it. So 3, 4. And now we get 2 encounter cards. Oh, and then this goes away. We get a treachery, so this comes back. Street Defenders, when revealed, each minion activates against you. Otherwise, the enemy leader activates against you. Do not give a boost card for this activation. Ugh. Okay, well, she's going to come at me for 3 because of that. So I guess I either have to defend or I throw 2-gun kid in front of it. So I'm thinking. So I've got hunted, which I can then tooth and claw if I get a minion, which will ready me. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to defend. We will take none. And then this goes away. Second one is an attachment. Forced interrupt. When a Spider-Woman would be stunned or confused, discard this card instead and give her a tough status card. Okay. My turn. We are going to play Hunted. Right on the bottom. Let's do Dagger. Okay. Unfortunately, 2-gun kid only does 2. So Let's see. I'm going to take a look at stage 2. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Steady. Oh no. She can't take damage this phase once I flip her. Oh. Dang, dang, dang. Okay. That changes plans a lot. That changes my plan a lot. That actually might have meant that I would have changed with Hunted as well, but that's okay. All right. That's okay. I can do this. I can still do this. We're going to have Two Gun Kid attack. He does 2 damage to 2 different enemies. One here, one here. All right, so we defeated Spider-Woman, phase 1. Phase 2 is 2 scheme, 2 attack, 17 hit points. And she has steady. And then when revealed, deal each player an encounter card. And she cannot take damage this turn now. All right, well, that is unfortunate to my plan. What we are going to do, I'm not even I'm going to spend air cover and defensive conditioning to do a feline senses to remove 3 threat from a scheme. It is not the last threat, so I don't get to do the kicker. And we are going to hold on to Tooth and Claw. And we're going to draw up. We get a Savage Strike. We get another Hunted. We get a Coup de Grace and a Precinct HQ. Villain phase. We get 1 on the main, so we're at 7 of 9. She comes... Oh, this readied up. She comes to attack. Two Gun Kid is going to jump in front of it, so she's attacking for base 2. 3-4. Two Gun Kid is defeated. And now we're going to get our 2 encounter cards. First one is Nowhere is Safe. Place 1 pursuit counter. If it has any, discard an upgrade or support I control. Well, I certainly can't get rid of aggressive conditioning or I will die. So it's either a resource generator or my sharp claws. I think I'm... Well, this is a treachery number 1, so let us put that there. All right. So I've got a Savage Strike and a Tooth and Claw. I won't be able to get both of them out. No. Unless I draw... So I'll get to do my... On the hunt, I'll get to draw 1 card, but I won't be able to... Unless it's a double resource, I won't be able to play both of them. So... Let's see here. But I just want to check real quick. So if I were to be able to... So Tooth and Claw is deal 4 damage to an enemy, then deal 4 damage to an enemy. Doesn't say a different one. So all 8 could go into Spider-Woman. That would put her at 9. And then I can get rid of one of those claws. Yeah, I would be fine. If I can play both of them, and I can potentially... still take her out. So I will get rid of one of my sharp claws. Second one is another treachery. So she goes up here. When revealed, either discard the highest card cost I control, or she schemes. Well, I lose. Because my highest card cost card that I control is aggressive conditioning. If I lose that, I lose 3 hit points and I die. If she schemes, she is guaranteed to be 2 of. So I have to scheme her, and it is a 3, so I lose out on scheme. Dang. All right, so Tigra lost. Out of curiosity, I want to see what would happen if I had one more round. So I'm going to do the on the hunt. No, you know what? We're going to do hunted. Oh, no, I have to do this first. So this is after the player phase begins. So I'll draw 1. It is audacity. It is not that. But I am going to do hunted and go get another minion, which I think Jessica Jones is still in here. Yep. Which is the next one. Oh, Dagger was stunned for that last round. So, okay. I'm not going to bother shuffling the deck. So I've got 2 minions engaged with me. So that is 2, 3, or no, just 2. And now Tooth and Claw only cost 2. So I get to deal 4 damage to an enemy. And then I get to deal 4 damage to an enemy. So that takes Spider-Woman down to 4. Oh, technically, yeah, this is 1 more because I forgot the +1 from contaminant immunity. So, yeah, we 12 out of 9, we definitely lost. And now what I can do is I can attack. These aren't guard, and even if they were, I get to ignore them with hunted attached. And I will spend 1, 2, 3 for Savage Strike and my claws. So I am a 2, 3, 4, 10. Plus Audacity allows me to do an extra damage to the villain. So I would have beaten Spider-Woman if the inconspicuous treachery had not come out. So, oh well, that is a shame, but give me a good sense for Tigra. Not bad. Interesting of just getting these minions out. Yeah, you almost want to gather them and then leave them for a turn so you can get your extra card draw, get your amulet, and use your amulet as a resource generator. So that's an interesting design space where not only do you want to go fetch minions, because Thor wants to go fetch minions, Rocket kind of does, Winter Soldier definitely does, to go fetch minions, but they want to then just immediately just try to wipe them out. Well, Thor, once he gets them, he gets card draw. Bucky, when he kills them, he gets to take threat off of things, and Rocket just has overkill and gets a lot of things that trigger off of overkill, so he likes having minions in front of him. So definitely an interesting design space. Didn't go too bad overall. Obviously, with an aggression deck and a 1 thwart hero, thwarting's at a premium, so you're kind of racing against the clock, the threat clock, to take down the villain in time, which unfortunately I was not able to do this time. But still pretty fun. Overall, from a pre-con deck standpoint, this was certainly better than the protection pre-con. It did have things that triggered off of minions, and since she goes and fetches minions, that's nice. So definitely a better deck than the pre-con Hulkling, which, again, no offense to whoever put together the Hulkling deck, it just, protection decks, especially in solo, pre-con protection decks are never particularly great, just because you don't have enough complementary pieces. Either you're missing out on attack or you're missing out on thwart, and the defense just kind of leaves you in a bad spot. So, all right, so that was Spider-Woman. Get a sense for her. So I'm not going to replay this, even though I lost. What I will do then is I am going to play Captain America next, and then we'll start getting into other fun variants and scenarios and themes and things like that. So if you made it this far, as always, thank you for watching. Do appreciate it. If you liked it, hit the like button. You want to see more games, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, if I made any mistakes, or if there's something you want to see coming up. Let me know. I will be happy to take requests. So Hope everybody has a good night, and I'll catch you in the next game.